Luke Vanderpool.
My name is Logan Vanderpool.
My name's Jill Vanderpool.
My name's Brian Vanderpool.
I'm a high school senior.
I am a pediatric nurse.
I'm a student at Cathartic University.
I'm a sixth grade teacher, and I'm a mountain biker.
And I'm a mountain biker.
I am a mountain biker.
I am a mountain biker.
I would define mountain biking as riding in the woods. It doesn't necessarily have to be on an actual mountain like we're on today, as long as you're on dirt, gravel, somewhere in the woods, changing terrains, mountain bike.
Riding your bike on things that aren't the road.
Riding your bike through the woods and the dirt, the trails, and over the rocks.
I don't really think there's one definition of mountain biking.
I first got into mountain biking through my friend Ethan, summer of 6th grade.
My older brother, Luke, he started in 2016. I was in 3rd grade at the time, and then I started biking, I think 4th or 5th grade, and then I joined the team when I was in 7th grade.
My son had joined a mountain biking team. My husband had been mountain biking before, so he had started to get into it. And I just saw what a cool group of people it was and decided that I wanted to try it.
Years and years ago, I mountain biked for a few years in my early 20s and then had stopped. And once Luke joined, watching him love it, that got me interested, and then I got a bike, started riding again. A lot of times the adults bring the kids into the sport. This was sort of backwards. Luke brought us as adults in our mid-40s.
Mountain biking has been a big part of my life for about 10 years now. The first 7 as a rider, and the last 3 as a coach.
We're lucky that this is something that the 4 of us can do together.
Mountain biking has influenced my life by bringing me closer to my family, and I want to pursue it in college, so that's kind of been a major role in where I decide to go.
It's really allowed our family to, do this together.
My first ever race, like halfway through my first lap, my speed just dropped. I was crawling along. I could not figure out what was going on. I was like, oh my God, this is not the sport for me. One of the marshals on the trail stopped me and was like, you got race tape all caught up in your gear. So we spent 5-10 minutes unraveling all this tape. I still have some of it in my room.
My first mountain biking experience, I don't really remember, but it was probably very annoying.
The first time I actually rode was very cool and very terrifying at the same time, because you realize how close the trees are and how big the rocks are. And this one spent a lot of time telling me to get off of my seat and not sit down, which you don't know. There's so much to learn the first time.
I would say the hardest challenge, we did a race called Rattling Creek, it's long, it's hilly, it's rocky. It was pretty brutal, and I probably wasn't as prepared as I should have been. Probably 30 miles in, and everything was cramping my arms, my legs. But after a while, it got worked out and finished that. But that was a really hard challenge.
I tore my hamstring tendon. That took me out of riding for about a year and a half. And we were just riding kind of down gravel, and there was a rut in the road, and we hadn't even gotten to the trail part yet. And I just went down. It wasn't even a bad fall, but when I fell, I felt something, I tear, and people didn't believe me for a while. But that was hard, seeing them go out and ride and me not being able to join.
First time I ever tried like a big jump on a bike. I didn't know anything about jumping, so my seat was all the way up, my shocks were locked out, I was sitting down. Basically everything you should do right, I did the opposite of. So when I then landed, I crashed and I fell on a rock, which took a scoop out of my shoulder. I had to wait it out, wait for it to heal. We saw so many different wound care specialists, so many different nonsense, until eventually we realized I was just taking way too hot showers, reopening it. So that was the most expensive, silliest decision in my life.
I handle nerves by just not really thinking about it. My biggest fear when riding is definitely injury. I fortunately have not had any major injuries. I've been close to having some, but I've been very lucky. I think the most important gear that I ride with is my helmet. It keeps me safe. If I didn't have it and I crashed, it could be very detrimental to my life.
Can't tell you the amount of times I felt a rock get kicked up that would have been a whole lot worse if I wasn't wearing a helmet.
A bike, we've learned, is like a car. There's lots of parts that need to be replaced as they wear out and degrade, and Sometimes we'll upgrade them to better parts so the bike will work a little better.
Some tips I have for a new rider joining the mountain biking community is don't be scared either of the trail or of the people. Reach out to everyone and make connections.
Any tips I would recommend is start small. This sport can be very dangerous depending on where you're riding.
Yeah, and I'd recommend buying small, a bike that gets you where you need to go, and then as you find you like the sport, then you can start to buy different equipment and upgrade your bike.
If you see something that's too difficult, absolutely skip it. If you see something that's a little smaller, you can't just like a log over. You just can't get it fluidly. Go again and again and again. Try it over and over. Because once you quit that first time, it gets that much easier to quit the second time.
If you join a team, we go through all kids in the league across the whole country. They do something called MTB 101, so it's a structured way of teaching them, how to be safe on their bike. Find someone who's actually been out there and knows what it's like so that they can kind of show you the safest way to do it. I love the community of people we have found. This has just been, we have met so many wonderful, kind, brave, super sweet people.
The part I love most about mountain biking is the community. Through the different races and teams, I've met some of my best friends through there, and that's who I spend most of my time with.
I watched kids the other day finish a race, and they were like held hands as they went through the finish line from different teams. So that community supports the individual.
That's the reason I fell in love with the sport, was the community. Mountain biking really opened up, accepted me. The community has grown so much. The team I'm on, Somon, had 9 kids, and Pickle, which is the league we're a part of, had about 100 total. Now Somon has 70 kids, about 1,300 riders in total. And NICA, which is the whole national league that we're a part of, has 25,000 student riders.
The team that we're involved with is 6th grade through 12th graders. And it just functions more like a family, like kids that are like siblings, cousins, because you see kids of all different ages. There's not a lot of places where you would see like 6th graders and high school kids hanging out together and supporting one another. Usually it's so much more, your team is this grade and that's it. Seeing that support from the older kids and how excited the younger kids get to see the older kids, it's just something undescribable in a way until you actually are there and in it.